Hello, Anui, everybody. It's been a minute. Well, okay, so let's get started with some questions. Mostly because this one's going to be in direct correlation to what's been going on as well. And of course, the vision that I had, which is what I've got on the screen. So, Annie Bear is asking, why do some of us feel the solar effects at night rather than during the daytime? Is it a feminine way of emitting the codes? Yes, it is. And it is also a way of picking up the codes because when we have the ones that are coming from the solar, from the sun itself, the light codes are coming in direct from the solar sun, what will happen is it will create an aurora at night if you have clear skies. And so as it's bouncing out onto our atmosphere, the lights themselves, you will begin to see those coming in as auroras at night. It is not only a different way of coming in, it's a more feminine way of coming in. Instead of having the nice direct sun codes that are coming in as a direct channel, right there, beaming straight into it, you're getting the effect from the aurora and it's being reflected back out with color. So you're actually getting more from the auroras and especially at night. And you have my sympathies if you are agitated at night. It can be a little difficult to sleep whenever the auroras are kicked in because there is so much energy that's coming in and it is kind of pumping up the energy in your energy field. So if you're an empath, or if you pick up the energy quite easily, use the bubble technique that we do. And you can go back through and you can certainly see on previous live chats that we've done, I've tried to timestamp these for everybody so that you can go straight to the bubble technique. And that will allow you to put a bubble around you and to have the space where it is just energy coming from above and below, but mostly you are setting a bubble in your heart space and then you put that out all the way around you so that it is just your energy and only your highest good that is coming in. Sometimes that just bubbling up, you can just imagine yourself inside like a soap bubble or any color bubble that it wants to be. And that will be enough to help you to integrate. You can also imagine hugging a tree, or you can imagine walking on like the sandy beaches or along a stream. Imagine yourself barefoot as you're doing that. Even in your imagination, it can help you to ground. If you can do it physically, even better. But I understand if it's the middle of the night, you really do need to sleep and everything. So, let's see what else we had. Wow, Rossi, how are you? Hi, Ethnicity. Okay, everybody. If we'll go ahead and be doing some energy work, I'm sure. So, if anybody else wants to join in and do some extra energy for her niece, she's had a pretty big surgery, obviously. So, if you would like, feel free to send her energy as well. So, hi, Randy. How you doing? Yes, I absolutely had a vision. And yes, absolutely going to do a bubble technique right quick. Somebody has got a throat thing going on. There is a throat chakra thing going on. Somebody that feels like they really can't speak their truth. There we go. And you can do something as simple as what I'm doing right now. I'm going to bring my let's see if I can bring myself up a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. To show you the technique, you're just grabbing the energy at your throat. You'll be able to feel it, grab it, and pull it, and fling it to the ground. But you can do this multiple times, multiple times. And yeah, I don't see the sun as bad either. It's reflecting the light codes, and sometimes it can be where we don't know or we're doubting ourselves because you keep hearing things like, at least since 2020, there have been changes happening to the sun itself. And I know for a fact we're getting closer and closer to the central sun, which is where the extra undistorted light, the extra photons are coming in. All you have to do is look at the sun. Anybody that is slightly older When you were a kid and you reached for the crayon box to draw the sun, you reached for a yellow crayon. I know you did, because all of us did. Now that color of the sun is white. And it's white because it has got the photons that are coming through. Yeah, and I am exhausted from everybody's angst. Hypnicity, I'm going to say on this that is not your chore. That is not your task. That is not where you need to focus. We need to focus on only what we want in our bubble, only what we want in our reality. And there is a lot of bang for division. United we stand, divided we fall. And so the parasites, and I would say it this way again, there are entities that feed off of our angst, that feed off of our fear, worry, doubt, lower frequencies. And so the fastest, easiest method that they have got to have their own energy needs met, and this is why you're feeling exhausted, is because these parasites are actually siphoning off your energy. And so what you need to do is the bubble technique. And if you can't even remember that in the moment, if you're doing a pattern interrupt thing, that's awesome. The camera picks up a lot of video. That's great. Yeah, I agree with Randy on that. But hypnicity, the main thing on that is pattern interrupt. You know that this is happening to you. Literally go back to my stuff. Timestamps are there. Use any of the energy frequencies that are there. And just like with Andy Bear, let it go. If it's not yours, waves of sorrow lightly, not my own, walk away from it and agree. Walking away from the duality. You're doing beautifully with this because, you know, the bigger part of the fight is simply the fact that you are actually remembering, hey, this is not me. And I feel this way because somebody is tapping into my energy. The more that you can back away from the duality, they cannot feed on love, joy, laughter, which is why I told you if you can't do anything else, aim for energy healing like the bubble technique or one of my previous threads, and do that again. Hi, Diane G. Or silly cat video, anything that's going to make you laugh because they cannot feed off of the low or the higher frequencies. Anything love or above, they can't feed off of that. So joy, laughter, bliss, exhilaration, anything that excites you, anything that's fun for you, focus on that. Why am I aching so bad at night? Annie Bear, some of it can be that if you are, or if anybody else is, and this is for entertainment purposes only, this is only to deal with the energy light body, but if you are getting aches in the bones at night, some of the packet of information that's coming from the sun is a version of radiation. So what you need to do is you can gargle with some iodine, you can take some iodine, you can eat some food that has a little more iodine in it. It's going to be up to you to find what matches your body. To give you an example, my husband can drink a glass of iodine solution, and he's totally fine. If I tried to do that, I'd be at one with the bathroom for about 5 hours. So I have to gargle and swish with the iodine for myself. And I think that's because I tend to eat a little bit more eggs. Eggs is usually one that's really a high iodine food. But I can drink a little bit of it too. But yeah, and shrimp. Rossi is saying shrimp as well. So if you're getting like the bone aches, and it's usually matched up with the solar flares that are going on, it's because there is a ton of radiation that is coming from the sun. And so that can help you to compensate for what's going on. It can be just a nutritional support for your body to help get over that. It will help to clean and clear your body of the extra that's going on. So mine is a tissue ache. Well, you're actually lucky. Mine's a bone ache, and it's really tough. Give it a try with that, and you are in the connective tissues. Is it in your limbs, Annie Bear, or is it in your tummy? And yes, it will come in an iodine dropper bottle. Be sure that you follow the instructions on those, and I usually do it maybe once or twice a day. But yeah, Andy Bear, just let me know. Is it in the extremities or is it in the okay? Andy Bear, yours I think might be because you are doing the thing, and this is the other. Andy Bear has it from me. It's an MP3 that I created where we are literally going in a very short time. Um, and Rossi's got a really good recommendation over here. But yes, and there again, as Randy's saying, it's only if it works for your body. So we're going from a carbon base. We were birthed into a carbon based body. We are transitioning to a crystalline base. And so some of this can be very achy as we go. It's like growing pains as we go over and we are beginning to turn into the crystalline based form. The younger ones that are coming in, like those that are born 7 and younger, they're already being birthed more into this crystalline based society. So they're not getting the same stress and strain. Beautiful, the ocean. I love that. I have been moving towards vegan. If that is supporting you, Randy, you go for it. Absolutely. And that's just it. You are the highest authority on you. There is no cookie cutter that works for everybody's body. No, absolutely not. That's just it. And kind of like she's saying, some of them will claim to have complete knowledge and will judge anyone who disagrees. You just have to back away because this is the only thing that any of us can do. We can try to say the truth if we know it, because there is the truth. And so, whenever you have somebody that's doing that, and as I'm saying, we're going into the Aquarian age. So as we do that, then it's a lot like what happens in the dolphin pod. You will become the highest authority on you. You will actually become his or her Royal Highness. You will become kings and queens of your own self, which can be a little daunting because that means all of a sudden, instead of having someone higher on a totem pole taking care of everybody underneath, you're going to become responsible for what is the best for you. What is your highest good? What works for somebody else's body may not work for yours. You can listen to what's supportive to their body, but you can get a feedback on your own body by doing, just to start off with something that's a little bit easier, is close your eyes to begin with, and then say out loud, my name is, but give a false name. So if you close your eyes and you say, I'll give you an example. My name is Fred Potato. Well, my body's going to sit here and either do a confused wiggle thing, or it will give me my no answer. I will be able to feel that. No, it's an absolute no. Pay attention to it, and then say your name that you know to be really you. And then you can feel into your body your yes answer. I'm pretty sure it's called body kinesiology is what it is. But then whenever you're looking at the food, it's like hold a piece of broccoli or even just say in your mind's eye, is this broccoli going to be good for me? Is it going to be supportive to my body right here, right now? And then feel into that. I'm really channeling the quiz today, aren't I? Surprise me. I will be definitely sharing the vision. But it's, as I was saying, you'll be able to see, does your body give you a yes answer or does your body give you a no answer? And you can go through your food choices. I will warn you right now, be cautious if you are doing something that is sugar-based. You are trying to reach for potentially some sort of sweetness of emotion right now. Sugar might not be the most supportive to your body in the moment. Reach for natural sugars. If you're going to do that, maybe try reaching for a piece of fruit. If you're needing that sugar, liquid monk fruit is very beneficial because it will give you an enormous amount of the sugar flavor, but it will help with the craving thing, but it will build your chi. At the same time, it will not impact your blood sugar. The other one that I'm going to caution you against, yes, one of the other options that are coming up is beautiful. And I can hear the ocean. It's gorgeous. Some of the other things that you need to be cautious with right now will be take a look at your medications. And I am in no way saying that you need to be teamed up with your doctor, but look through your medications, make sure that everything is supportive to you right now. Anything that is over the counter, again, take a look at that because we need to ensure as we're stepping forward, especially through the summer months, that we can support our bodies to its highest good. If it is something along the lines of caffeine, I know it's tragic, but if it is caffeine, it could potentially be overstraining your nervous system. And as Andy Bear's saying, this is just for entertainment purposes only. It could be overstraining your nervous system and your body. So be aware. And I'm not saying that you have to just ditch it forever or you just do less, especially if you're already stressed or strained. And lastly, alcohol for the same reason. I am not saying by any means no, never, ever. It's just right now we are under a bit more of an enormous burden as we're going forward because we have a lot of solar activity and a lot of energy that's stepping into our our own atmosphere right now. Okay, and especially as you're doing energy work and your light work, you're doing a lot of transmutation. So it's it's better to have your body maintained and pampered by simply paying attention and supporting it with foods that will be grounding to you, that will be supportive to you. And so for the things that may throw you or wobble you, like high sugar, high caffeine, high alcohol, um, maybe just step back a little bit from that for now. Okay, so I'm going to get back over to my visions here. Oh, there we go. Cool. I don't know if you can see my mouse at all. I probably can't have my mouse on there, but you will see in the upper right-hand corner, this was my creation of what I saw. And of course, what I saw in my vision, the Earth was much smaller and the whale was much, much, much bigger. But this vision happened in Kahuku. So it was during the time of Kahuku the butterfly, which was last year in November. She has only continued to bring this energy all the way forward. And by she, it was an enormous cosmic whale being of plasma light. She was beautiful, and she was pretty much the same color as what's in the frame. She appeared at the edge, and she was beaming a plasma purple light all across planet Matea, which is, of course, is our planet Earth. And so she was beaming in all of this beautiful energy. It was gorgeous. And last night was pretty wild because last night I had traveled yesterday down the Oregon coast and we went further down and we visited with friends late into the night. And it's not the first time that this has happened. Whenever we came back, it was pretty late. And so a lot of the cosmic cousins were out there, a lot of twinkly lights, some really bizarre glitches of the matrix, you could say, was happening last night because as we were driving, some of the oncoming cars would change. Like, I'll give you an example. At one point, I saw a turn in the road. There was a vehicle that was headed towards us that was a white car, and yet whenever it came to pass us, it changed into a black car as it went by. Other vehicles were just flat out disappearing whenever there were no turnoffs on the highway, and we went for a period of time on the highway when all of the traffic seemed to vanish. Now, granted, I know it was late at night, but we are in a lot of tourist season right now, and it's highly unusual. So yes, it was absolutely glitching. And at the same time, the cosmic cousins, normally they just hang out there and they don't do a whole lot. They'll look pretty if I'm interacting with them. They'll bob up and down and things, but they normally are a little calmer. This time they were on the move and they wanted to be noticed. They were much closer in. I didn't really get anything from them specific other than they wanted to be seen. They wanted us to know that they were there and they were supportive. The energy coming from them was supportive, but they were, I won't say agitated because they weren't, but they were pretty excited about moving around. They were very busy. So it was fascinating. The whole ride back was extremely fascinating to watch. A lot of it was discussions of what is that? That light doesn't look normal. I don't think that's a helicopter. I don't think that's a. Sometimes it would be a guess of perhaps it's the top of a cell phone tower up on one of the really high mountains, but mostly it was. I don't remember that light being there, and I certainly don't remember that star pattern being there, which is pretty wild. So I would say that, and in fact, I can still sense her out there. She has been doing this. The plasma whale has been doing the beaming onto the planet since November. A lot of her initial first delivery of the energy was between Kahuku in November and Hia, which is in January. And Toho is the specific name of the humpback whale. It's not just a whale, it is the humpback whale. And that is exactly what she is. Only she is absolutely a cosmic being. She is way bigger than the whales that we have here. Sometimes I talk into voices. That is so cool. You are utilizing, yes, that is correct. You're utilizing your voice. And sometimes there could be so many messages that are coming forward that you will actually have two different voice streams that will begin happening. There are instruments as well, and there are people that can do singing that will have two voices going at once. But you can also look up, there are different instruments that you can play. Ancient Greek is one where they have two wind instruments playing from two different sides of the mouth. Mind blown because I can barely carry a tune with one instrument at a time, anyways. Just wow, they must have been amazing. Just gifted people to be able to hold two different tunes and play two different instruments at the same time. Mm-hmm. When I pray out loud or I'm talking to the animals, then you'll hear the two voices. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what's going on. Your voice is the amazing instrument, which is why whenever we're speaking to ourselves or we're speaking to other people, we do need to remind ourselves as much as we can to only focus on what we want to grow. So you want to tell other people the truth. I love myself, or I love you, or I am doing the best I can is one of the things that you can certainly remind yourselves of. But you want to stand as much in your health as you can. Now, granted, it may be something where you're just rolling your eyes and it's like, well, I've just recovered from surgery. My health is really not that great. You still wish to focus upon only that which you wish to grow. So we want to focus on a healthy body, and we want to focus on being supported in our health visions. We also want to support ourselves with loving relationships because remember, love or above to shrug off any of the entities that are feeding off of the lower frequencies. And then, of course, with wealth, we want to speak our wealth and our abundance into our reality as much as we can. Here we go. Had a vision of, oh, gorgeous. There have been a lot of things that have been in my room at night that keep their flashes of light, and then they keep disappearing through my closet. Closets are a portal. Doorways are another portal if you don't have a closet in your bedroom. And we're beginning to, because a lot of you are showing up week after week after week. If you have not already had experiences with these higher dimensional beings, they will come in as colored lights, different small colored lights, orbs, different colored orbs. And a lot of times you can see them coming and going. Sometimes you can see larger light beings that will look like bright white lights, but they'll look like shadow people, except they will be a lighter color, a whiter color. But that's just absolutely gorgeous, Ross. It flew like a bird. There are so many of our marine life mammals and fish that will look like they are flying, and it's amazing. Yes, it's like this Annie Bear is saying the same thing, where it's like I feel this amazing angelic energy at the edges of my awareness. And yes, and they are here to support us. Call on them as much as you can. As long as they actually, Randy, if they're popping out from underneath the bed, maybe they're down there cleaning out the dust bunnies from the shadow people. Could be. I'd rather have a light being under my bed. So let's get started with some of the Lemurian technologies, and then we're going to hop over and do some energy work if you would like. Oh, before I do that, does anybody need to do any alchemy of the dimensions? Are we doing a lot of stress and strain? Are there any alchemizations that need to happen? Like with the families, is there any stress and strain that's happening with your relationships that we maybe need to do another activations? Randy's always up to the alchemizations. I would rather the closet door open. That's what mine is. Mine's always open. Yep, I took the doors off our closet years ago. Look at me, please. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'm going to do first will be the Lemurian Light Code technologies. And what this is going to do is, one, it's energetically going to get us on the same page. This is a multidimensionality, and so I'm actually going to talk us through the longer form so that you can begin to understand what I am saying behind these Lemurian Light Codes. And they're extremely powerful. And then we're going to go over into the alchemization. Okay? So let's get started with this one. Grateful for the breath of life. From the void of the cradle of creation comes first light, ma. First breath, ha. First birth, ka. First love, wa. First stone, ta. First fire, he. There and back again. Mahakawatahi, tawakaha ma. First dimension, iti ingawa, in the name of Tito iri, the vibration, to o, the frequency, to wana, the energy, wayuwatapu, I remember. Iti ingawa, second dimension, in the name of Tefunui, the land, Tarani, the sky, Tikatau, the water, wayuwatapu, I remember. Third dimension, Iti ingawa, in the name of Tafaya, the mother, Tamatua, the father, Tatama, the child, Wayuwatapu, I remember. Multidimensionality, Tihe, Hori, Hora, grateful for the breath of life. Whales and dolphins today. Oh yeah, and the image that we're looking at today is one that I took a little while back in the summer, and this was last year's summer. You're looking at the south of Cannon Beach, and a little bit of in the center of it, you can barely see it, but that is Tillamook Head Lighthouse on one of the rocks. It's a little white blobby out there on the little rock, pretty much in the center of it. That is Tillamook Head Lighthouse. For anybody that's looking locally. Next up, what we're going to do, I want to do some alchemization. Now, these alchemy codes, they will be taking us through the different dimensions, and so we can get up and out of and away from the lower entities that will be feeding off of, you can call it vampiring or whatever, but basically they need your energy to survive. And so what we need to do is we need to wean them off of us. Okay? So what we're going to do is just gently look up, nice breath in, and close your eyes. And now what I need you to do is go ahead and imagine yourself in your favorite space, being grounded, held by Mother Earth. This could be at the base of your favorite tree. This could be walking in an alpine meadow. This could be walking along the shore of the beach. Or sitting next to a creek. But you're just peacefully being held by Mother Nature. Set my energy up here right now. Okay, here we go. Alchemy of the first dimension. Alchemy of the second dimension. Alchemy of the third dimension. Alchemy of the fourth dimension. That brings us up and out of the duality polarity. Now, if you would like to hang out here in the fifth dimension, that is in the love or above station. So if you want to, just hang out here. And Mother Earth can hold you. And for the rest of us that would like to go higher today, we're going to go upward, upward, upward a bit more. So this will be alchemy of the fifth dimension. Alchemy of the sixth dimension. Alchemy of the seventh dimension. If you feel dizzy, just imagine Mother Earth bringing in a light stronger from above and below so that you're good and grounded and rooted. She's got you. Just turn up the volume if you need. Alchemy of the seventh dimension. There. Alchemy of the eighth dimension. Alchemy of the ninth dimension. Alchemy of the 10th dimension. As I said previously, this may open you up to seeing various light flashes, especially at night. More interactions, you can catch glimpses of them out of the corner of your eye. They can look like elementals, fae. Sometimes you'll begin hearing things instead of seeing things. So you may catch the sound of bells. You may hear ringing in ears. You may hear buzzing or a droning sound or a low growling sound from the earth. Not earthquakes. These are the rock people and those other people that live in the earth. We're going to do just a couple bit more here. We're going to do alchemy of the 11th dimension. And alchemy of the 12th dimension. Beautiful. Okay. I'm hearing that's where we're going to pause today. Just going to hang out here for just a little bit longer. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do a re-entry back into your body. Coming back into Mother Earth. Maybe feel your feet in like a rocky creek or on the sand with the ocean. Or feel the wind coming across your body as you're sat against your tree. Maybe you can feel the bark of the tree. Let's wiggle our toes. Wiggle your fingers. And come back on in. Flying. Yes. The nice thing about it is it does open you up to the higher dimensions. And I did want to get us up much higher because Sometimes everybody's been so focused on getting to 5D, it can be helpful to get up a little bit higher than that. And there are higher beings also that will no, they'll monkey with us. They'll come in and they'll give us different channelings or different informations or what have you. Um, but they're not necessarily for our complete highest good. So they're better than playing with those that parasite, but it's more helpful to get into 8th, 9th, 10th dimensional beings. And of course, much, much higher up. And at any point, like I said, if you feel uncomfortable, you can always go up. You can always imagine yourself in the central sun, and you can always imagine yourself held by Mother Earth if you need to be grounded. If it made you dizzy, again, imagine Mother Earth holding you, or you can hug a tree, wiggle your toes. You can stomp the ground with your feet if you need. And you can also get yourself a drink of water. Be gentle with yourself as we do this and we reintegrate this. I kind of wanted to get everybody's balance back first, and we're going to come right back on in. Legs are throbbing, going to go outside and ground. That's a good idea anywhere. It's a really good idea. I do want to do one more activation, and this is going to come from Tamara Oviatt with sacred activations. This is a specific sacred activation. But I wanted to get us back here in this realm and get us a little more centered in ourselves and in our bodies, but it's going to do with family constellations. And this does deal with more interactions with our own families, but also sometimes our friends can be substitutes for families, especially if you have a toxic situation with your first family. They can be stand-ins, and this will help to balance that. And we're also going to do a secondary one that's going to go over polarity as well. But these are sacred activations. Okay? So we're going to jump right over into this. And what we're going to do is the same sort of setup. I need you to imagine yourself grounded with Mother Earth in your favorite space. Just need to set my energy up here. And then when the activations are running, I'm going to be silent for them so that you can have your own experience with these activations. And again, these are sacred activations, so these come from Tamara Oviatt, and they do come from Source, God, whatever you want to call creator being. Okay. Family constellations. Star Nation family constellations. Duality. Polarity. And just ground into Mother Earth when you're ready. Come back into your body in your own time. Give you a heads up with these activations. They can take days, weeks, and even months to unfold and to integrate. If things are progressing too quickly and you're suddenly seeing things changing in your reality faster than what you want, you can ask for these to slow down so that you have more time to integrate. If you're of the opinion of, basically pedal to the metal sort of a scenario, you may actually fall asleep for a few days, where you may go through a body purging. Sometimes that will happen because your body is integrating a little too quickly. And again, you can always ask for it to slow down. I do know some people tend to be very gung-ho and do it all at once. You need to be patient. And it is something that I have always set for I like to do the gentle path with this one. There's no reason to do any harm whatsoever as it unfolds. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. Next slide, of course, we have our support team, guys. And we have our bubbles. There we go. Because I wanted to do the meridian balancing next. So I saw that Annie Bear had something going on at the base of her skull. And so I have the throbbing legs. I would imagine Randy's probably got the neck thing going on. And then, of course, we have Hypnicity's knees. Is there anybody else lurking that or was here currently or, and that's just it on the replays. If you're coming through the replays, make your intent known. It's like, ow, my elbow hurts. So I need you to focus on especially my elbow energy as we go through sort of a scenario. And it will come through for you. Okay? So the energy on this is going to be interactive as you go forward. Side here. And so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I've already started the energy work. So if you're sensitive to energy, you may actually feel me right now. I'm around the ears, the base of the skull, the top of the spine, and the cervical area. And then also through the eustachian tubes, the throat itself. I know somebody's still got a wee bit going on in the throat. And Hypnicity saying, I simply need to regain my energy. Sure. Absolutely. So let's get you balanced, Hypnicity. We're going to go down the neck, both sides of the neck, throat as well. And we're going to go into the tops of the shoulders, the beginning of the thoracics, base of the cervix. You're very welcome. Hi, Amanda Carroll, just in time. We have just started our meridian energy balancing. And hello, Rush. Close my eyes so I can get in here a little bit deeper. Beautiful. And we're on the left-hand shoulder and shoulder blade itself. There are multiple meridians that run in and around and underneath the shoulder itself. We tend to shove our emotions, and especially if we are shouldering the weight of the world or things that are not ours, a lot of times we can shove things underneath our shoulder blades that don't belong to us, kind of like shoving things under a carpet. And unfortunately, many of these meridians that run through here have to do with your stomach, small intestine, large intestine. So it adds to the anxiety and can cause tummy upsets. So let's get that reversed. And we're working down the left arm, the forearm, into the elbow. Left elbow at the moment. down towards the wrist, back of the hands, fingertips, and into Mother Earth. I don't know who is nauseous, but we're just going to increase this energy. You can also take a sip of water to see if that helps a little bit better. And yeah, some of that's already moving off. That's great. Okay. We're going to go back up the palm. Imagine a diamond white light going around and in the palm itself. There are multiple team points on there. Correspond with different organs, different organ systems, different meridians of the body. And we're going to go to the inner wrist of the left hand, inner left forearm to the base of the elbow, inner left arm to the armpit. Ouch. Yeah, I'm picking up on these. It's a lot of tender. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right hand side, right shoulder, in between the spine and the shoulder blade itself. Top of the shoulder and under the shoulder blade. Shoulder and upper arm on the right hand side. Second, we've still got some on the meridian that runs underneath the shoulder blade. What I'm doing is I'm working through absolutely everybody's meridians. So this works obviously for humans, but this is any animal. So if your dog or your kitty or your bird or even your pet snake, anybody that needs help, you can also do this for your horses, cattle, llamas. It doesn't matter. It's all universal. The meridians are pretty much the same on all animals. So they can get their energy balanced at the same time. And this is a little bit like brushing your teeth. I've had people ask, how often do I have to do this and why do I have to do this so frequently? Well, it's like brushing your teeth. Once a day you would go in and brush your teeth. So this is really helpful for you. You can do this as your nighttime ritual. As you're going to bed, it kind of gets all the gunk off the body as you're going to go to sleep. And it can reset your meridians to help it have, one, a really peaceful night's sleep, but two, it helps you to set up for the next day and make sure that your meridians are flowing in the correct direction. Or the other one that you can do is you could play this in the morning to get your meridians going the correct flow, and then you can tackle the rest of your day this way. I'm on the upper arm on the right hand side, headed to the right elbow. Elbow itself, and the outer arm of the right forearm going towards the wrist. Back of the hand. And imagine a diamond white light, just sparkling and dazzling light, cleansing and clearing fizzy bubbles all around the hand, the back of the hand, and into Mother Earth. And she's bringing diamond white light back, fizzy, all through the fingertips, palm of the right hand. Of course, your thumb. Inner wrist to the right side. Inner forearm. Elbow. Yeah, a little tender over here. Inner upper arm towards the armpit. And for your knee ethnicity, I'm adding some extra energy to the chest region. Mostly it's a chilling cold to help soothe with the pain and to contract any swollen tissues in the region. And of course, the energy flow through this area. Not so much the blood flow, because I do know there's a lot of trauma after surgery that extensive. So it's mostly to get the energy balanced in this region, because several of the ting points would have been disturbed from such a large surgery. Support the rib cage. Now we're going to switch to the lower back, underneath the shoulder blades and the back rib cage. There we go. That's nice. And now I'm going to go down both sides of the lumbars and the spine itself. Just going to bring in some extra energy. Nice, juicy bones. We're going to imagine a white light coming down through the spinal column at the same time. Okay, and on the lower back where the hip joins in the pelvis region. So sleepy. That's wonderful. You can doze if you like anywhere. There's a lot of little fiddly. Oh, yeah, there it goes. It's going to pop. There's a lot of little fiddly muscles that are in and around the pelvis, which look a lot like elephant ears if you look at the bone structure of the pelvis. But for humans especially, there's a lot of little itty bitty fiddly joints in here. So we're just going to soothe and ease those off. Get some space going. Great. Some TLC around the ball joints, the hip itself, the tailbone, the coccyx, the pelvic girdle. We're going to ease off the iliopsoas. And of course the insertion points where the hips and the legs join the lower back. Now we're going to go down outside of both legs to the outer thighs, to the outside knees, between the knees and the ankles, and then down from the ankles to the feet, and the toe tips into Mother Earth. Now we're going to fizz the light back up from Mother Earth. Bright white, fizzy white light coming through the toes, all the way through the soles of the feet, massaging them, filling them up with light, fizzy, fizzy, fizzy energy coming up, 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 up through the inner ankles, up through the inner calves, filling just beneath the lower knees, and the insides, and just below the ACL. And now we're going to just foam it all through the shin, calves, all through the knees, up through the inner thighs, into the lap area. And then we're going to bring it up through the tummy. Set the tummy in the correct directional flow. Sometimes we can have some really stagnant energy on our tummies because this is one of our storage spaces. You'll know you can't breathe. You can't get yourself a deep breath with this. And a lot of times it's because we've stuffed so much of our energy in here. It's a lot of stagnant energy. So let's just get the tummy flowing again. You may end up with some tummy gurgles from this. If you've done any yawning, sneezing, burping, coughing, stretching, yawning is the most frequent. But any of these signs, you can reach for a sip of water and just get that flushed out. And we're going to go up through the diaphragm into the heart space. Some TLC to the lungs, some TLC to the heart. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to go up around the face itself. Yeah, there's a lot of really gunky old energy. So we're going to round the nose and ting points around the eyes. There's some serious challenges with the air, so I would say pollen, possibly dust. So let's just get those stimulated. Soothed in and around the eye sockets itself. The forehead, seat of our third eye chakra is what this is tomorrow, our knowing. The skull itself, the brain, going through the pituitary and the pineal structures. Limbic systems. Our survival mechanisms with the hypothalamus and the hippocampus. Ears, eustachian tubes, TMJ. If you want, you can gently tip your head side to side. Sometimes you can get some relief from that, but be very gentle with this. We're going to go through your upper sinuses, which is behind the roots of the teeth, palate, the soft structures at the back of the throat and the root of the tongue. And of course the lower jaw. Oh, nice sneeze. Somebody's dog. You sneeze again. You're welcome. And we're going back to the throat itself. And a little more support on the neck, on the interior, throat, and a little bit down through the windpipe, just to the seat of the collarbones. Gorgeous. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Hi, Lemurian Singer. Hi, Karen Robinson. Oh, Anui. And yes, Happy New Year. Happy Lemurian New Year, everybody. Yay. Welcome back. Ooh, excuse me, that was a really good release. Wonderful, everybody. So you'll definitely want to have a bit of a nice drink of water, potentially have a nice nap, go ahead and rest. Oh. Electrical storm. So much energy. Just stand in the wind. Yeah. You can pick up a lot of extra energy that way. You have to be careful that you don't turn into a lightning rod. But yeah, yeah, I've really enjoyed some of the storm energy. Ah, you're so welcome. Absolutely. I'm gonna scroll back up because I had my eyes closed whenever some of the people came in. Soft open waves. Oh, my chest is warm. That's beautiful. That's a healing energy that's coming through. Then the princess knocked out. Oh, so sweet. Ah, walking slow to text. Someone else is increasing their protein. Left shoulder, yeah. Yeah, that was a good pop that happened over there too. Extra hungry lately. Healthy oils also helps with that for the hunger. Yep. Wonderful. Okay, let's scoot you back down here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love storms too. Yawning, feeling wonderful. That's great. Wonderful. Oh, there's my 101. Since we live on the 101. Avocados. Yeah, they're a great source. MCT oil from coconut oil can also be a great source of the healthy fats. Beef tallow is a really nice source. Um, ghee. Ghee is really nice because you get the good benefits of the butter, but if you're allergic to the dairy part, it's not nearly as triggering. But everybody knows what they are, what their body is supported to do. So if it doesn't work for you, then just nope, not for me. Yay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, gang. Now that I've left you in wonderfully relaxed Lemurian puddles of ooey gooey energy, we've done an awful lot today. It's a huge tree. Oh, that's so sad. Big hugs. Yeah, I'd be definitely going to hug a tree like that. But if it's 100-year-old maple, there has to be seeds from that. So it will live on through its babies. And even then, whenever they remove it, the stumps remain. Um, Amanda, what I would do is hug the tree and see if there's any kind of a vision that comes to you within the first 30 seconds. Sometimes you'll have the vision come through one eye or the other, but you might get a vision from the tree itself. I don't know why they're removing the tree, but it will, like I said, carry on. It's almost impossible for them to remove the root system unless they're coming in with heavy machinery. So if the root system is still in them, it will still continue to exist. And of course, kind of like humans have ghosts, echoes, they will as well. So housing. I'm sure the tree knows already, and it's depressing whenever it happens. But it would be in a wonderful world. We would look at what's already there in the neighborhood and work with our elder trees. But I find that a lot of people don't. So yeah, whenever I don't know what to say, I simply say I love you, and they'll carry on the other side just as much as we do. The imprint will still be there, and I'm sure that the uh, seeds from it, that it will continue on as well. And it definitely does. They will regrow. You could buy a new tree and see if the soul of the tree would go into it. I'm kind of wondering if any of the saplings, any of the little seedlings came from it. You could certainly take one of the maple seeds and grow those and nurture them. I also ask an angel to assist. That's another option you could do. And of course, with the trees, with the maples, different varieties will have different lifespans, but you do need to understand that they have lifespans as well. And so a lot of the maples, whenever they're about 80 years old, that's pretty much the top out of their lifespan. Sometimes they will last longer depending on the species, and of course the particular tree itself. Um, but it could be that that tree is also at the end of its lifespan, and it's willing to give up its space for the other new people that are going to be coming in, and they need to have that space for their families to be growing as well. So it's a potential that the tree is ready to move on in order to honor the new growth of the new families that will be coming and living in that housing. And the trees obviously will understand just as much as any of us down here. I have one in my garden that I moved last year that's already 12 feet tall. Beautiful. That would be my guess. It's terribly sad because I've had to say goodbye to some trees as well, and it's always ah, it's never easy. And all I can say is go hug. You can do what's called a humi, and what you're doing is you'll see this, I'm sure. But you put your forehead and your nose against the tree, close your eyes, and see if there's any kind of a vision that comes in through one eye or another. Because it's potential, as you stand there and you ask the tree, is there anything, any messages, anything that you would like me to carry forward for you? You can have the visions then come in. And sometimes it's just for you, and sometimes it is for everybody. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for rolling with it and coming in and seeing us at a different time. I had some other stuff that I had to do today, so kind of wanted to see if the later afternoon show would be easier for other people to meet as well. I'm sure there's other shows that are going on right now, so I need to hop off of here so you can skitter over and pay attention to those as well. I don't have anything else on the books this week, so I will definitely be seeing you next week. And thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here and hanging out. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. And Wawa Nui, everybody. Wawa. Thank you.